Hello all, this is my very first video on Twitter. So wish me luck. So for explanation, I'll use both English and Hindi so that the context समझ में आए हम सबको. So first of all, talking about the growth rate of Mrs. Bector Foods. So today we'll be talking about Mrs. Bector Foods first. Then I'll come up with more of FMCG companies series. Then we'll expand to more of retail, etc. So starting with Mrs. Bector's Foods. So the quarter revenue grew by 17%. Uh, but the quarter one of FY25 grew by 17% YOY, and this and has been under this growth of 17% has been consistent around 2-3 quarters. Talking about the business model, they have two businesses. One is biscuit business and one is bakery business. So in biscuit business, they do domestic and export. In the export market, they majorly do either उनका खुद का ब्रांड क्रेमिका का sales to the retail stores, or they do white labeling for the likes of Walmart, all of this chain of retailers, etc. The second segment of them is bakery. So bakery mein they have two focuses. One is consumer focus. Basically, we as an individual can buy the bakery products like bread from the online portals, and the second one is QSR. So QSR is basically it's also tied with the growth rate of QSR growth in India. So basically, as of now, the QSR chains are not doing that great. Uh, Example would be Jubilant Foodworks, Devyani, because of high cost, high because of high inflation, therefore high cost of cost for materials. Therefore, but once we see a revival in that industry, we can see also revenue growth in Mrs. Bector's Foods bakery division. As of now, the bakery division's revenue growth stands at 14%, whereas the biscuit one stands at 23% YOY. They're talking about the yearly revenue for FY24. So they recently came up with their annual report. So according to it, the biscuit revenues were 990 crores and bakery revenues were 572 crores. Talking about the presence in India, so they are present in the northern part of India, and currently in their expansion bucket list, they have Maharashtra and Bengaluru. For Maharashtra, they have already planned and have raised also planning to raise. They have like issued a placement document to raise funds to build a plant, greenfield plant, not brownfield, greenfield plant in Khopoli, Maharashtra for biscuit division. Sorry, for the bakery division. Uh, their target their target is to reach 1 million plus retail outlets touch points. As of now, they have 7 lakh retail touch point. Uh, Recently, they hired Karina Kapoor. Looking at the competitors, looking at the market leaders, they have started so aggressive in marketing. Talking about now the concall highlights. So they have recently launched a new high ticket size product called as Zero Maida bread, which costs around 51 to 60. In the online, they said it's 60. In the if I go to Swiggy marketplace, it's listed at 51. And as we see that the consumer demand is not that great, which therefore the market leader, which is Britannia over here, they aggressively started marketing their products. Because of that, Mrs. Bector Foods also had to aggressively market their products during these quarters. Because of this, the marketing spends were high, comparatively high compared to the previous years. Recently, they also, as I said, recently they hired Kareena Kapoor as a brand ambassador. Talking about the capex plans, so as of now they have, sorry, I had to leave in between. So continuing with our discussion, so the capex plan, so they have two new capex coming up. One is in Madhya Pradesh for biscuit plant, and one is for bakery in Maharashtra, Khopoli. So they are uh, in line with the expansion plan to Maharashtra and Bengaluru. So also they have started their new plant in Rajpur in quarter one of this year itself. Also, they have devised a capex plan of 350 crores, out of which they are planning to fund around 150 crores from the QIP and the remaining from accruals. So this a day before, just this last week, they announced QIP, and also they have sent the placement documents. According to it, they are planning to use the funds for uh, paying out debt and for the capex funds, etc. So this and the rest, basically 350 minus 200, which is around 200 crores. So they are planning to fund those amount through the accruals from the business. Okay. And and the next is, they have also, the reason their bakery sales were less is because of the Navratra, which usually comes in March, but this time it came in uh, April, and due to the hot summers this time. And also we can find this, that the QSR segment was not doing that great. It is also a reason why the bakery segment didn't do that great for Mrs. Bector Foods. And talking about the 17% growth they were talking about, it is largely volume driven. Now, if we look at the and analysis of the company, they're focusing more on premiumization, not just volume play. uh, as if you look at the demographics of India, so they are uh, the rural population is stable, but the urban population is increasing. So they are the main proposition is value play, premiumization play. uh, for the distribution, what they have did is key, they'll start with the low ticket product, then move on to high ticket product with high margins. Okay, so this is the distribution plan for them, and as I said, they are planning to take 1 million of retail outlets by in a few years. They haven't commented by which year they're planning to do that. They are a market leader in pizza bases and burger buns, and they are also planning to launch more of health conscious food, looking at the trend of low preservatives, more of natural products, etc. In this segment, the margin is good, but volumes are still, we still need to be we still need to track whether this will work or not. They also launched a new frozen dessert SKU. Now the strategy is like, basically I am selling breads, biscuits, उसके ऊपर से आई विल बी सेलिंग डेजर्ट्स, बिकॉज मेरे पास पहले से ही केपेक्स तो है, पहले से प्लांट है, उसमें आसानी से बढ़ जाएगा. Therefore they are also trying to optimize their plants to sell more SKUs. Thereby they are trying to increase their asset turns and ROC. The management also commented that this quarter the gross margins were very high because of three reasons. It is because input credits, except because of three like input credits, etc. So they say that this high gross margin would not sustain. You should expect a gross margin of around 44 to 45%, uh, and EBITDA margin of 14 to 15%. Also, this quarter, the net profit growth was just 10% compared to 17% of revenue growth. The reason was simple, because of high export cost. Uh, then high marketing spend, because they wanted to compete, because not to lose market share, they had to launch low ticket products, 10 rupees, 20 rupees packet of biscuits. And also the new plant, which they commissioned, the Rajpura plant, they had to employ more, they had to employ workers. Because of that, the employee cost also increased. Due to this, the revenue growth was 17%, but the net profit growth was just 10%. If I look at the EBITDA to cash flow ratio, even that's on a sustainable level, it's okay level, like it should be 70, but more than 70%. It's at 63%. And this quarter they are expecting to spend around 3 to 3.5% on advertisements. And yeah, that's it. I don't think anything else. Going forward, I'll be covering more on, I'll expanding my horizon. Like currently I'll be FMCG, then I'll cover more of retail companies, then also I'll add sugar companies in it, and then moving ahead we'll try to cover more industries. So yeah, thank you.